looks so serene.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode, I think I said 20 last time, 21 of the VR CruCast. How you doing, everyone in the chat? Thank you for joining us. As you can see, we're some members down, and I want everyone to try and give some energy to Paul Wes, because he's like, it's like that bit, like, I don't know, when you guys want to score high school, you don't want to be on the team today. You don't feel that great, but no one else wants to do it. And Wes stepped up. He was like, I've seen everyone else back out today, so I am turning up to represent the team. And that background is crazy.
Oh, I meant to change it. I forgot. No, this is Twilight Zone. This is the OG Twilight Zone background.
It's so
It looks
cool.
good.
It does, yeah. It looks like you just walked out that door straight into that chair. It's good stuff, man. But thank you ever so much for turning up, dude. And thank you to everyone in the chat for turning up as well. Thank you for all the likes. Just check them out by accident by sharing the stream. So thank you. Brad, welcome back, man. How you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm very relaxed. I feel it's been a very I feel like the first couple weeks of Quest launch was like very sporadic. Now things, even though things are like, they're still busy, it's calming down a bit, so it's like I don't feel on edge all the time, if that makes sense.
Do you know what's weird? With all the technology stuff going on, I kind of was thinking, do you know what? I can't wait to go back to reviewing games. And it's been actually tougher than I expected for some reason. So yeah, that's going on. And I don't know if you guys recognize the extra cool kid in the corner. It's Eric Masher. How you doing, man?
Super cool. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I literally just like a couple hours ago, I was in the middle of a meeting and I got a knock at the door and my Ray-Bans are here, man. My Meta Ray-Bans. So I'm excited. I haven't even turned them on. They're just glasses at this point, but I'll check them out. I'll check them out, the functionality out as soon as I get a chance. I jump from meeting to meeting into CruCast. So as soon as that's over, I'm going to start doing some stuff with these things.
So you haven't even checked them out. They're not even turned on.
I charged them. That was it.
so you just want to be that guy that wears sunglasses indoors,
wearing sunglasses,
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
I'm in Florida. Wes, in Florida, you can wear sunglasses everywhere. You can wear them to bed.
That's true. That's true. Although I feel like you need some like orange frames or something if you're in Florida. Something crazy.
Is that true? You need some sort of neon colors, some sort of colors to stand out.
Brad, you've been here longer than me.
Definitely, if you live on the beach, yeah, you're kind of a weirdo if you don't have orange skin and orange glasses,
Over here, dude, like I was looking, like, just, I don't know whether just boring colors are in, grays, blacks. Thank God beige isn't a thing anymore, really. Just like everything looks very uncolored over here. And then when I went to America, obviously you get to see some nice colors and stuff, and I missed that. I kind of missed that.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, Zippy's. Oh, we saw a comment from Zippy's earlier. It was quite funny. Zippy's No Man's Game Cat. He's donated 20 SEK. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you ever so much for the donation. Regardless, I just find it very interesting. Different currencies we have. Is Ambilight on a VR headset a bad idea? Anyone?
Can I ask what Ambilight is?
I think I'm pretty sure it's a thing where you put like these LED strips on the side of your headset and it tries to match what's going on picture, kind of like when you put stuff behind your monitors for like an immersive feel.
Yeah, like Philips TV do it, I think.
Oh,
They've got a TV.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, what? Oh, do you know? I've seen someone do this. They've done it on the inside of the headset.
Yeah.
And around. I don't know, man. I mean, that would be quite weird for me, I think. But I don't know. It'd be quite cool on the outside. Everyone just seeing your headset glowing up, wondering what the hell's going on in there. That'd be pretty cool.
I think the only problem with those kind of lights, from what I understand, is you have to be very careful if you're doing the expanding your FOV with those things. Is like a lot of those strips will have very flickering lights, and your peripheral vision is actually very sensitive to flicker, so it might make your brain a little weird. So if you do ever want to try it, you definitely need to like be careful which LED lights you get.
Be careful.
So like what would you get out of it though? Like, I don't know, what would it be? What would you do with it?
It just kind of tricks your brain, or it's supposed to try to trick your brain to getting more FOV, even though it's just a lighting effect, you know.
So if you want
I haven't
them,
tried it, so I can't really say much about it.
you got to be careful or already have a weird brain. That
Yeah.
is, then you're safe to do it. Yeah. So what has been going on in VR lately, gentlemen? I've seen. I was watching Virtual Strangers. What time did you guys finish? Early hours of the American morning.
It was about 4 a.m. local when we got finished.
You look like someone who was up till 4 a.m. Where's today?
Yeah, well, that's me.
It's crazy. I was watching it at the gym and I started listening, and I was like, "Fuck! Hold on, it's like 8 a.m. here. Like what? I don't know how you guys do it, man. I don't know how you guys do it, but yeah, great discussion as always on the show. If anyone hasn't seen that, please go and check out Virtual Strangers last episode. It was very, very good. So yeah, just been what's been happening in the world of VR? Because mostly for me, I've been seeing games getting delayed, which I think is a good thing most of the time. A little bit disappointing. I was very hyped for Phasmophobia. I think we touched on that the other week. But I was watching my old video with Brad, Viper, and Mike, and it reminded me that game is worth waiting for. Like, it's going to be such a good time. It's just a shame it misses out on the Halloween season, but I don't think it'll matter too much.
Well, maybe now that they're delaying it, they'll be able to get that voice chat feature in there, because they were going to launch on PlayStation without the voice chat, which
Can't do that.
on the surface doesn't seem like it would be a big deal until you get in and you actually play Phasmophobia and you realize just what an integral part of the gameplay and the immersion that is. And going from being able to kind of talk to ghosts and try to get a rise out of them to clicking text dialogue boxes would really kind of break the atmosphere and break the immersion. So hopefully that's kind of the why, right? Hopefully that's why they're delaying, is so that they can get that feature working.
So what do they do? What do they do in the flat screen version? Is that the same? Do they have microphones?
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine so, though. I mean, the controllers themselves, at least on PlayStation, has a microphone right in the controller. You can just talk right into it.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I don't know. I would imagine so.
I can't imagine. I would love to see that. I think Markiplier did a video. He done loads of videos of Phasmophobia, but he did a VR version and he played it on his own. And I don't watch many videos on YouTube like that, but here's one I did watch, because that's something I can't do. Like, I literally cannot play that game on my own. It's terrifying, and going in there and just saying the names of the ghosts, that adds to the level of fear, because the worst part is when you call out for something to happen and it actually fucking happens. Like, just scary shit, man.
I've never played Phasmophobia.
Wow.
I've seen people play it, but I've never gotten in and play. I tried to get in and play it once, and it was so damn janky that I couldn't play.
It was when it first came out, man.
So bad, and I never have gone back to it. I don't know if it would be something I would enjoy. I mean, I've seen other people get into it and have fun. It sounds like, to me, it's more about the people you're playing with and less about the game. Am I right in that way?
I think it depends. Your friends can certainly make it a worse experience if people are,
they're not playing along.
If they're goofing off and laughing and stuff, like it'll break the tension that the game's trying to build. But if everyone's in the right mindset and playing along, then yeah, it can be spooky at times because of the type of things that the game has you doing. I mean, there's some downright demonic shit that they're trying to get you to do to conjure these spirits in the game.
So would you play it solo? I mean, does anybody play?
I would if I could. I want to. I do.
You're too scared to do
Eric,
it? Like
try it.
Like you shit yourself?
Try it. I dare you.
Right,
You can do the tutorial, man. Just get in there. Have the sound turned up. As soon as you get in that house, do you remember the white noise that happens? As soon as that happens, and you've got to start like calling out for ghosts and stuff, mate. I'm fucking out of it. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'd struggle to do this for charity. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's really.
Am I right in thinking it's be haptic supported too? So you can like
Yeah,
Is that
I
is that
think
the
so.
case? So you
Yeah.
can feel the ghost
Yeah.
like touching you and like putting their hands on you and stuff?
Yeah, I think the last video me and Benjo did was in Bhaptics. Yeah, and it was just actually the best game I've tried for Bhaptics. It had a really cool feature. Was is it Wraith, the Afterlife, Oblivion? It's one of the fast travels like 10 name games.
Yeah, oh my god, it's huge. Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife.
That's it. Yeah. Well, they had a thing where if you were spotted by one of the ghosts, it would send a shiver down your spine. Like I've never, no other game has done that, but I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was. It was a cool feeling. One of the
Yeah,
more creative uses of the Haptics Fest.
yeah, exactly that. Not just like being just punches all over your body. It's nice to actually have something that is quite designed. Bradley, you got haptics. What's your thoughts on haptics and stuff? We never spoke about haptics before.
Yeah, I have the full kit here, and I never put it on because I live somewhere where it's hot, and
Yeah,
putting a suit on like that is like, I'd rather just not.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Aircon, like even in this country, man, where it's like fucking raining 50% of the time, and bad weather, I have to actually have aircon on because as soon as you put, like, I think it's everything. It's a mixture. It's obviously the PC's giving out a little bit of heat. Because Buck helped build my PC and he put about 9 fans in it, which is great, I guess, to keep it cool, but it just makes the fucking room so hot. And then you got the lights, and then obviously B Haptics doesn't give out any heat, but it holds heat in. And then you put in a headset on. And some days, dude, just putting a headset on if it's hot enough. Like I'll take you got aircon, Mash, where you are.
I do. You have to have it here. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, I don't. Brad, you must have. I don't know if you could survive in Florida without air conditioning, but it's just so hot here most of the time. But you know what I was thinking? I played a lot of PlayStation VR2 the last couple of days because just we're checking some stuff out on there. I think that's a hotter headset than almost any other headsets that I've tried. Like, because maybe because I'm like I wear these these Sony earphones with it. And it just seems like every time I put that headset on, I start to get instantly hot. And I
Which
don't
wouldn't
feel
make
that
much
way
sense.
a lot of times.
Which would let sense because the actual quests do generate more heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never seems like it bothers me though. But as soon as I get into that PlayStation headset, for some reason, I always feel like I get warmer, I get hotter, and I start to sweat a little bit.
I wonder if it's the material around the thing because it literally does lock into your face, that material, doesn't it? And all around the nose. Don't know. Maybe you got hot eyes. I mean, your eyes are giving out lots of heat.
But you forget about the revolutionary event that was built into the PlayStation VR2 headset.
Oh, you mean the vents?
Yeah, the vent.
the
hole.
vent.
The hole.
Is there? I didn't know anything about this. What? There's a vent?
Oh, there's a vent.
At the front, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out made it like a big huge feature. Like, oh my god, we put a revolutionary style of vent in there. Like,
yeah,
it was the same as every other vent.
Loved it. But yeah, what I was going to talk about. What about Vertigo 2? Was you guys really looking forward to that?
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, there's so much other stuff coming out right now. I'm not crushed that we're not getting it this week. I mean, we've got Journey to Foundation coming out this week. We've got Ghostbusters coming out this week. If Vertigo needs another month or two to come out, considering that it's going to probably be an upgraded version with, haptics and triggers and all that stuff, considering that it's going to have new content in the game now, with all of these bonus characters that are playable and new weapons and all the extra stuff that it's getting.
Yeah.
I would rather them take as much time as they need and get it perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, given the climate in the PSVR2 community right now, where people are on edge because we've had so many botched launches lately, like it needs to be perfect. This is the one that everybody's holding on that pedestal. I mean, outside of Resident Evil 4, there isn't a more highly anticipated release coming to PSVR. So this needs to be right. It needs to be perfect. And if it takes them another 6 months to make it perfect, then they need to take the time.
Yeah. I had a bit of a moan about the lack of keys for Ghostbusters recently.
Yeah.
And
so weird, huh?
It is weird, but I think like when I go through the comments and the certain feedback, I can't remember what game it was where I was basically again moaning about when we get games that are unfinished or unoptimized or don't look good. That is not Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters looks, from what I've played, on PSVR 2 looks incredible. It feels incredible. Like the haptics are great. I think the game art style's great. It runs great. So it was generally the gameplay that I had a problem with, nothing else. So some people were like talking about it not being done right, but it's from End Dreams. So I would never expect anything but high quality from those guys, you know.
Right.
Maybe the narrative's not what I expected and what I'd like, but in no way would that game be a bad quality game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you get Sony involved, though, you don't know. Like that's what it is with me, because there's going to be decisions made that are going to be out of In Dream's hands, this is probably one of them. In Dreams doesn't normally operate this way. They usually are very upfront with access to games to be able to have early reviews. So, you know, did Sony do anything else? Did they make them release earlier than they wanted to release? Is it going to be complete? Is it going to be good? Like, you know, when you get another company involved, that's, you know, where you lose control. Like, I'm concerned now. I don't know what this game is going to be. Normally, I would have all kinds of faith in Dreams. I think they're one of the best developers out there, but I don't know now.
Yeah, they are. I think they are one of the best. Same as Vertigo. I think Vertigo have really upped. I mean, to be fair, I don't. Apart from the Hellsweeper thing with PSVR 2, that's the only bump in the road I've seen from Vertigo that I know of. And for me personally,
they had some work. They had a problem with after the fall for sure.
Yeah, on PSVR 1 after the fall was a shit show when it launched.
I can't believe it even launched on PSVR 1 now. I kind of forgot, to be honest. I mean, did it?
It was completely broken. It shouldn't have launched on PSVR 1. It was unplayable. It was literally unplayable when it launched.
Was it aim controller? How did it, I want to say I played it, but I can't remember.
They had aim controller support. They had move controller support, but the control scheme was literally backwards. Like the controls that should have been on the right move controller were mapped to the left one, and the controls that should have been mapped to the left controller were mapped to the right one. And the aim controller was the same way. Like your hands were backwards with it. Like it was.
Oh my god.
It was a mess, dude. And even after they patched it, it wasn't great. It's one of the worst launches I've ever seen.
Wow. Well, that fucking shut me up. Bluebell, thank you ever so much for the $10 donation. Wes hypnotized to give me this. Wes, can you always use that background, please? Thank you ever so much. Laszlo216, he put a $2 donation in. Thank you ever so much. He put weird. I'm wired for weird. Well, that is good news, man. I hope you get those weird lights, ambilights around your eye sockets. And Parasite Green with the £10 donation. Thank you ever so much. He has put, I flashed my torch. I wonder what he's going to say. I flashed my torch through the kitchen window from outside for like 2 minutes. Then I was like, nope, I'm out. The only game before this I had stopped playing as a kid was Fatal Frame Crimson. Yeah, I remember Fatal Frame, actually. Was that the one where you walked around and had to take the pictures of the ghosts? Yeah, dude. He's talking about when he's talking about Phasmophobia. Yeah, man. If you haven't played Phasmo, I put that up there as one of the scariest games. Brad's nodded his head. Tell me about Phasmo, man. Tell me about your experience with Phasmo. Because he was our tour guide. That's how, yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours playing that game in VR. It was addicting, and I don't know. It's really, really good. Like it's like, you know, it's not one of those games I think is like only good because you play with friends. I think it just already has a good foundation, and like the friends you play with different friends groups, and it's always just very different each time that you go in. So yeah, I do really like that game for sure.
Yeah, I've met some people in there who are very serious though. Like they are, it's like a real job to them. And if you don't know in Phasmophobia, you don't catch the ghost. You're there to basically investigate what the ghost is. That's the idea. Is you use certain tools and equipment, to get the right clues, and then you guess what the ghost is, what type of ghost it is. I can't remember what they have in there. It's probably a phantom, and what they got in there. Do you
there's a bunch, dude. There's like 3 or 4 dozen different
types. They added
of,
new ones as well, didn't they? Like as the game went on.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds. And you know, it would be difficult to play without friends, but you could do it now. At first you couldn't. Like the very earliest versions of the game, you had to have friends to carry all the equipment that you needed into the into the scene. But now you can just kind of run back and forth and grab something else off the truck and go back in, and it makes it possible for you to play on your own.
Even the idea, I remember being in one game, and I think at any point someone can just go to the truck and shut the door, and that happened a couple of times. Like people are like, "Yeah, fuck this, I'm out," and but they end the game for everyone when they do that. But yeah, even that, like, I mean, Phasmophobia must be well over a year old.
It's like a few years old now.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I remember that Inception moment where someone ran in with one of the cameras to place to see what the ghost did, kind of thing, and then the rest of us were in the van watching the camera feed. And like obviously 2 years ago, I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like that is so cool that you can do that, and it really does feel like you're part of a ghost program, like a really spooky ghost program. Fantastic. There was one other game I think I was going to talk about. What was it?
Did you see the embargo lifts for Asgard's Wrath 2 today? There was a couple stories written about impressions for that game.
Oh no. Are they paid impressions probably? Or
Most likely.
yeah, normally they're paid. If they're this early, they're normally paid. So yeah. No, I didn't. What anything good? I don't know. Well, if it's paid, it's probably very good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were positive. I forget, they were like, one journalist was Upload VR, the other was WCCF Tech, and
Who's that?
they both seemed just some random tech journalist website. But yeah, both were pretty positive about what was going on in their demo. Apparently they did the demo like a month ago or something. So
they did because they were playing it at TwitchCon. I think Asgard.
He was.
That's maybe what you're talking about. The hands-on impressions from TwitchCon. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, they had it at TwitchCon. They had Ghostbusters. They had Assassin's Creed, and they were streaming it on their Twitch channel. And it was some of the worst gameplay I've ever seen. It was like snap turning, teleportation, finding the floor amazing. It was pretty cringe, man, like watching it. But I mean, at the end of the day, there was quite a few people watching when I tuned in for Assassin's Creed, which is very, very good to see. So yeah, getting the word out there, you know.
You can climb with your hands. It's amazing.
I said
you can
in my Ghostbusters bitch video. I watched a streamer, and
terrible.
She I mean, the thing is, I kind of tried to think to myself, would someone I know, if they got in VR, probably be like that? So they would be, maybe, but they wouldn't overreact like a streamer would, if you know what I mean. So what happened was she was walking around looking like at the corners of the wall a lot, and then just some purple blobs appeared. And I think she then thought, oh, this must be something really interesting that I've got to talk about. And they were nothing important at all. And she just stood there looking at the bubbles. She was like, wow, like these are really cool. Guys, can you see this? And I'm like, yeah, they can see what you're seeing. They're like, wow. Look at these purple blobs floating around. It was really weird.
God.
But yeah. But yeah, so Ghostbusters, I won't be able to cover Ghostbusters. I'll have to do it when I get back from holiday because I'm going to take 9 days off. Have some chill time. So, but yeah, it is a shame about Ghostbusters, but there's plenty of channels that are going to cover it. And do you know what? For my gameplay session where I spoke about how I felt about it, how I didn't really feel it was for me, like my age, I guess, as being a Ghostbusters fan, I'm sure people are going to love it out there. You know,
it's your fault. It's your fault. Had you not said that, then everybody would be getting keys. But now they're afraid that they're going to ruin their pre-orders and people are going to get refunds, so they're going to just hold on to those review keys now.
Can we talk about the pre-order thing and say it's time to be done with the pre-order thing? Like, I mean, nobody should be pre-ordering right now. If you are pre-ordering, you are part of the problem, and you are going to sustain us developers releasing shitty games that are unfinished and not allowing people access to them, so you continue to buy them. Because that's the biggest thing, right? They're concerned about the pre-order, especially PlayStation, where you have no recourse if there's a problem. So if you pre-order something and they don't give, review access, early review access to anybody who can review the game and let you know that it's not up, ready to launch, you have no recourse there. You're stuck with that game. So anybody that's pre-ordering stuff right now, I understand you want the shiny skin or whatever that's going to go with that they're going to give you. But trust me, all you're doing right now is giving them ammunition to keep doing these things and allowing them to release games that are unfinished and then hide it.
I wonder whether doing the pre-order thing is probably just as bad for developers as well, because then you're tied. You're kind of tied to a date, because not only are you going to say the game's delayed, people have kind of already paid for it, which is a lot more angry people. And yeah, I guess if the pre-order thing wasn't even a thing at all, would the I guess keys might have gone out early because they need you to kind of help show the game off. I don't know. But yeah, I think some people maybe thought I don't wish the best for the game, and that isn't true. I do wish the best for the game, and I want people to enjoy it. I just can't help that it wasn't the game that I was hoping for with the demo I played. Because as I said, there's another game mode there which could be really quite cool. Actually, the one where the person holding the trap is the one seeing things that no one else can see. That could be pretty cool. That could
Did you play the mixed reality version of it that they had at MetaConnect?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
It's very short, but it was very cool. That again, while I was at MetaConnect, was the time that I really fell into the trap of like, actually, mixed reality is really cool. I played that. I played Lego Brick Tales, I think it's called.
Yep.
Bam. Yeah, Bam. Yeah, I played Bam. I got Bam. I love Bam. Actually, we need to have a multiplayer session of that at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It'd be so cool to do it in person.
They need to do a full on, like, for the Ghostbusters AR. I know they got the little mini puffed mayhem thing going on there, but there's so much potential for the idea of a Ghostbusters AR. They could do a full-fledged game out of that with ghosts and shit.
Yeah,
Flying through your room and co-location AR game. Like, it could be really good if they decided that they want to make something.
You could have a containment unit on your wall.
Yeah.
And the ghost would be trying to like break into the containment unit to let the other ghosts out, kind of thing. Something silly like that. But I think that'd be so cool.
It'd be incredible.
It would be incredible.
Yeah, I tried to connect the Ghostbusters MR thing. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it was kind of shallow, but I mean, it was pretty cool. It was nice to have it.
To be fair, they're all pretty shallow.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's some that are better than others, though. I mean, like I think a few of us have played the cabin, home invasion now. I mean, it's not super deep, but I mean, I keep going back to it because I think it's freaking amazing.
It's pretty good, man.
Every time I go into it, you know what I mean? And but there are things that I think there are going to be shallow experiences, but there's so many of them now that I'm okay with just jumping in like for 20 minutes, a half hour, 15 minutes and going to the next one. I think it's when you run out of them that you're going to like feel like, that's when you're really like, okay, I want something real. But right now there's so many that I don't think you'll run out for a while.
I think the cabin gives you a solid, if you can survive 10 minutes of real craziness.
Oh yeah, it gives you more than that, because I didn't survive and I played through like 3 waves. It took me at least 10 minutes for that, probably 15.
Yeah, well, it is longer than that, isn't it? Because the actual countdown timer that they're trying to break, there's like something outside they're trying to smash to stop the unit indoors working, and you've got to do the 3 presses, which is so stressful because you've got to press the button at the right time, and this thing's going back and forth, and it gets faster and faster. And the last one, dude, can be pretty tough because there's almost like a tiny bit of a delay between your physical hand hitting that button. And yeah, it's really cool. I remember smashing one of the zombies out of my window with a baseball bat. And then I turned around to use it again, and it was fucking broken. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty.
And
cool.
the Yuki MR too. That one, if
cool.
you play all the way through it takes close to an hour to play through that.
What is it? The full game as an MR game?
I mean, it could be. It's wave based, and the portals that the enemies are coming out of, they literally pop up on different randomized parts of your wall. But it's a wave based thing, and there are boss fights and everything as you make your way through it. The problem is that it caps at 10 waves, so you don't just keep going. It's not endless. After 10 waves, you're done. But by that point, you've had 2 or 3 different boss fights, and you've seen a bunch of different enemy types. And I mean, it might be the best MR game that I've played so far. Is the Yuki MR?
Really?
It's really good. Yeah.
Wow.
Really
okay.
good.
I did not know that. I might have to bloody check that out.
Especially if you like Yuki. I mean, it's even, it's just like a really interesting way to do it. And it comes through, I think they have portals like in your floor too, right, Wes?
Yeah.
So
They're
like
all
a lot
over
of
the place, man.
A lot of what I've seen so far with MR has been a lot of like ceiling and walls, windows and doors and stuff like that. But you don't see too many where you actually have your floor, become part of it, which is pretty cool.
What you want to do is you want to go to the biggest like play space that you possibly can and set up for that game so that you can have portals coming from everywhere. So I did like a 2-room area. So I had literally like enemies coming in from the kitchen into my living room to kill me. It was
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
I think because of my play area, I got like killed so quickly. It's just that door and that window, and it's not a bigger space. It's not a big space.
You know what I realized with that game too, because the cabin now we're talking about home invasion is it maps you out differently for each run. Like I did it in one run where it was only this side of my room that like I have 2 windows over here, and there was 2 windows, and I had another run I did it was every window I had 4 windows,
What?
and then they were coming through every window, and then they would the one guy would break through the wall, so I had so many. So it's different every time depending on how big in your room and how many windows and doors you have mapped out in the room.
Nice. I would love what was I going to say? I would love to be able to board the windows back up. I don't think you can you?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be so cool.
Yeah,
we
that
got,
would be cool.
yeah, we got quite a few games actually coming out very close now, haven't we? As you said earlier, we've got Journey to Foundation. We got Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep.
We got Power Wash. What else have we got? This on.
Let's see, there was another one coming out next week with Vampire the Masquerade. So this week is Ghostbusters and Journey to Foundation. Next week was
Foglands.
yeah, Foglands. That's it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, is that coming out very soon? I did not know that.
It's
Yeah,
coming
2
out
weeks.
on yeah next week. Yeah.
Damn, bro, it's so worrying. Where the hell are these codes for these games? Like, how long do they think you need to review this stuff? I've got no idea. But yeah, just let me know in the chat, like, out of those games, what are the games you're most excited for? So you've got, if you can do it in order, that'd be great. You can just pick one. Ghostbusters, Journey to Foundation, Vampire the Masquerade Justice, and the Foglands. Which actually, I'm really excited for the Foglands. But I did actually forget when it was coming out.
No, that might be the one that I'm most excited for. Like, I think
Same.
Foglands is going to be exceptionally good. But it's hard for me to pick which one out of those 3. Like, out of the 4, I would say that Ghostbusters is definitely the bottom of my list as far as what I'm excited for. Journey to Foundation, I think, has a lot of potential to be really good. I'm still, you can tell that it's going to be a different type of game.
Yeah.
And with that's going to come some risk. Maybe it don't land quite as well as it could. But with that risk also comes reward, because it could be just, so different and amazing that it could end up being one of the best games of the year. So those are the other 3: Foglands, Foundation, and Vampire the Masquerade. I hold those all pretty high. Like, I'm really highly anticipating all of those games. I really probably couldn't even pick one that I'm looking forward to more than.
I think Vampire is going to shock some people. I think it's that good. Like, I think I played a pretty extensive demo of it at Gamescom, and I think it's really, really good. Like, I think it's going to like surprise a few people.
Yeah. Yes. There's only so much I can talk about, but yeah, I think a lot of those games are going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to miss Foglands. You just made me realize that, Wes. I won't be here for Foglands.
Oh yeah. Now you know how I
That
feel,
sucks.
man. That's all this. That shit happens to me all the time. I'm like, how many times is that? Like when Switchbacks launched, I wasn't home, and I had to like wait like 3 weeks to play Switchback when it launched, and then something else just launched on PlayStation that I wasn't home for, and I had to wait. Like, I don't know where I was, but I hate when that happens. Now you're stuck. Now you're
It was
stuck.
Firewall. It was Firewall, wasn't it?
Yeah, Firewall. Yeah.
Well, you missed out on the moaning. You missed out on
I don't feel so bad.
We didn't need you to add to the negativity. I don't think it was pretty negative across the board.
What about Breachers, GT? You think Breachers is going to just put Firewall up on the execution wall and take them out of their misery?
I think. Do you know what I played? So I think it was Pumpkins. He was like he put a video saying something like Firewall's back or something, and I was like, oh right, okay. And then I found out there was a new update. And they've got like this thing called the ad system, which I know you know about, Wes, but I wanted to explain it anyway. Basically, if you pulled the left trigger, it like auto aimed, but the accuracy was like spot on. It was really good accuracy if you used that. So a lot of people were pretty upset about the idea of almost like it was a little hack. You didn't have to aim the gun yourself. You just pulled the left trigger, gun sticks to your face. And within a day, someone had proved that if you aim it didn't matter how good of aim you was, it would be less accurate than ads. So now they've got rid of that, as in the aiming is as precise as ads. Okay, apparently. But I went in there, man, and it felt so clunky. You know, like I think if I play Firewall and I kept playing Firewall, I could adjust to it. And, you know, I've played it and I've had some good games. And I did have a semi-good game. A guy was trying to sneak up on me. I opened the door on him. I wish I'd have recorded it because his face and head were stuck in the square of the door and he was against his door like that. I just put the shotgun through the top. That was pretty cool. That was really funny. But yeah, it does feel very slow and clunky. And I think it is reprojected, actually. I can't remember ever really discussing that. But it does feel like a reprojected game as well, visually. So yeah, there's a lot of, and I think when Breaches comes out, obviously going from a standalone title with Quest, and it looks very good on Quest. The developers know what they're doing. You know, Hyperdash was a fantastic game. That looks very good. And by all accounts, like when I spoke to the developer, he was like, yeah, we're aiming for like 120 native for this. And that's when I feel PSVR 2 really shines. Like if they get the OLED right, and the blacks and those colors, and Breaches is actually quite a colorful game, you know, or a bold colored game. I think people are going to absolutely love it, personally.
Yeah, when they're promising upgraded visuals for PSVR 2. They're promising to use up the haptics and all that stuff. So we should be getting a better version of Breachers on PlayStation VR 2. My question is the progression, right? My big problem with Breachers was always that there wasn't any progression to it. Like you have the whole arsenal of weapons available to you from the very beginning. Now I know they've added in an XP system, but I don't know what that means. What do you get for your grinding? What does the XP get you? I have no idea.
They did explain it in the trailer. I think you played this morning. Wes,
I know they explained that that it's there. I didn't see that they actually mentioned, you know, use it for XYZ.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned, I think you unlock credits or something like that, and then you can spend it on items and stuff. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like, the one thing I know, I probably said this before, one of the best online leveling systems for a multiplayer I've ever had or played was Halo 2. Might have been in Halo 3 as well, where it was dynamic, it was live. You know, like if you won some games, you went up. If you lost or if you stayed steady, and you got matched up. Because obviously it was a big enough player base as well, it could do that. As with Breaches, it was like, I don't know if there's leveling up in Counter-Strike. I don't think there is. I can't remember it. But I don't think there is. And Breaches was like Counter-Strike. It was like you earn cash by playing well in the game, which allows you to buy better stuff during the match. So every match is an erased playing field for everyone. You go in there, you've got a certain amount of cash. If you don't get the kills and you don't do well, then you end up with a shitty pistol for your next round. But if you do well, then you get the better guns, and obviously you got the tactical stuff you can buy. You got the regen healing thing that you can use that fucking people steal off you. And yeah, it's just, I think it's a great game. Swinging through those windows, when you get to the windows and then clicking the right stick and you swing back and smash through a window. That's fucking cool. Like I put that in the beginning of my Breaches review because I killed Soul Fox, man. I could hear him.
Nice.
I was there like on the little on my little wire kind of thing, because you have to hook shot up, climb up and down, and I could hear him talking or something, and I breached in, and they've added like this really cool sound effect as you go through like a movie. And yeah, I swung through and there was Soul Fox. Bless him.
Nice. I think Breachers is extremely accessible, and you have to remember, and that's why it's going to be successful. Like this, it's an easy jump in and jump out. Like it's a quick, easy game that everybody can get into and play. You don't have to be like super kick ass at it to have some success in it, but you can like get really good at it too. So
and tactical.
Yeah, and it can, and you have to work as a team, which is which is great with friends. And it's going to be cross-platform across many platforms where, Firewall is only one platform. So, and they've already jaded some of their players, like, so they only have one platform to cater to. And then some of those players are already pissed off or already left or are not going back. So for them to recover from that, they only have a smaller player pool to pull from, where Breachers is coming in hot with new maps and, on a new platform with all these other players from, one of the largest platforms out there, which is Quest. So to me, I think Breachers has a much brighter future than Firewall, which pains me to say because I was excited for Firewall and still am hopeful for it. I just think their path to becoming a successful game is super rocky right now. I fear for that game.
Yeah, I'm reading in the chat. Some people are saying it will kill Firewall. I think.
You know,
Go on, Wes, sorry.
I think it's really just as simple as Firewall making it so that people don't have to wait a half an hour to get into a match.
Well,
Like
the update I did the other day, but the only thing is I couldn't test it with people. Like you need to have like 4 of your own people or more than one. If you go in there with one person, you kind of end up being okay. If you go on your own, you're kind of okay. But as soon as you started adding people, if three of us got together and we were waiting for the one, that's hard. Like the game doesn't seem to like that. But I was getting into matches pretty quickly the other day. But as I said, I was on my own and I kind of figured that out. I was like, actually, this game didn't really have a problem when you was on your own. It was when you was in a group. And yeah, when it launched, I think First Contact did a stream that someone sent me, which they actually removed. And it was a clip of them playing, and they meant to do a stream for 45 minutes, and for 45 minutes they didn't get a match.
That's rough.
That's hilarious.
That's harsh.
funny.
Like that must be harsh, like because obviously they're trying to win people over and get these updates ready. But I mean, they're obviously not stopping working on it. That's the thing. Like they're very committed, but I feel in some ways that game had a very strict development style. It was going to be using these things of eye tracking, all this stuff to show off the PlayStation VR 2, and it's kind of backfired a bit.
Well, again, for me, I it's not the game that I have any problem with. To me, Firewall on its best day is better than Breachers on its best day by a fair margin. Again, the problem is networking and matchmaking. That's the issue. People don't want to just sit and wait around on a match. And we're 2 months on now from launch, and people are still having these issues, and that's what's scary. I'm hoping that the emergence of Breachers puts enough pressure on the First Contact team that they have to get it fucking figured out, and they have to do it now. Hopefully it'll affect them for the best, for the better.
I said this last night on Virtual Strangers. I don't understand how a company who bases their entire company around multiplayer games and having to get multiple people into multiplayer games can screw up launches so bad, because they did the same thing with Solaris. They couldn't get their multiplayer right with Solaris, and that killed that game coming out of the gate when you couldn't even team up with anybody. Like, I don't get it. First Contact, it's like they fall on their face when they do these things.
I remember when Solaris launched when you only had one arm. That was the thing that
that too.
I'll never forget that.
It launched where you couldn't get in with your own squad. You had to you had to all hit enter or start at the same time and hope you got put in on the same team together. That was the only way to team up with somebody.
I thought that had such promise, Solaris. I really did. I loved it. I loved the speed of it. It was much faster than Firewall, which is kind of something I really wanted. And they even had the pattern of the feet as you run. It felt like you was really charging around these levels, and they were like multiple levels, weren't they? And you teleported to different ones. I thought it was really cool, but yeah, that's another game that died, and that's the problem. If people aren't playing it, then it's going to make it even harder to get a match because no one's playing. So if no one's playing, you're going to go in there and wait. They can fix that netcode, Wes, and then no one's going online anyway. And then it'd be like, well, I haven't got a match all day. It's be like, you're the only person on it, dude. So yeah, hopefully. And sorry, someone said about being negative. Like, if people keep being negative, then these developers are going to be like making flat games instead. Yeah. I mean,
no. They're going to go where the money is. Doesn't matter what we say.
It's very hard. It's very hard to. Well, you can't say something's decent when it's not. I think that's a worst case scenario.
Well, what is it too? What is what do we decide to take mediocrity because we're afraid that they're not going to make any games anymore?
No,
So
but
that's what it is.
I get
I
the
mean,
sentiment though. What people are referring to, there were, you know, Firewall had some very real things that were wrong with it when it launched. Uh, but there was a lot of things that was said about Firewall by reviewers and by people on message boards that just weren't true. I mean, people were criticizing it, saying that the game looked bad and that certain things were broken that weren't broken. And that kind of negativity, I think, is what they're talking about. People, there are reviewers in our space, especially over the summertime, that it seems like they were just looking for anything negative to say about any kind of PlayStation VR2 release. And
He
that
he
was
doesn't mean
frustrating.
me. I don't think he means me.
Talking about you, GT.
No,
You gotta fucking
How dare you?
No.
But no, I certainly understand what they're saying. I got frustrated with it too, and I went off a couple of episodes over it because it was so frustrating. But I'm all for criticism, but it needs to be valid criticism. It needs to come from people that actually play the fucking game. You know what I mean?
Mate,
Yeah, no, I agree
I'm
with that.
picking up what you're putting down, Wes. Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't agree with like not like holding back because we're afraid of the developers. Like
Oh,
that's
no.
not going to fucking happen. So, I mean that statement's not going to work. It's not going to fly with me. Like cuz if you do that, if you start like I'm afraid that you're not going to make games, so I'm not going to criticize your game because you made a shitty game, that's not going to work. Cuz you know what? What do we get? We get more shitty games. Like you can't do it that way. Now I get what Wes is saying. You have to be careful of the fakers out there who are just going to put shit out there for clicks. Those are the people you got to be careful of because they're going to like give you wrong impressions about a game because they think that that's what you want to click on. But go to people who know about the games, who are going to give you a good impression of the game, not play it for 15 minutes and then give you a review. Every YouTuber out there playing the first 15 minutes of a game is not a review. Go to somebody who's putting the time into the game to get a review, and then you'll get an honest opinion. But I don't think
Yeah.
we should be backing down on our opinions because we're afraid of the developers. That's not
People
going to work.
criticizing Crossfire for being too short, but then in the next breath saying that they didn't finish it. Like, really? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Lord Beavis, he said, so first of all, someone's called out, Brad, you need to start playing games, man.
Yeah, Brad, come on. Play
Yeah,
some
come
games
on,
with us,
Brad.
man.
What are you playing? Do you play games at all? Do you play flat games or anything?
Not too much, honestly, these days. Like,
Not
I can't-
even Mario, not even Super Mario Wonders or whatever it's called.
I haven't touched my Switch in like 5 years, probably.
Dude, I love that. I'm playing if I get away, which I haven't done actually, but yesterday, it's such a bloody great game. I love it.
It does look good though. It
it's
does look fun.
really
Like, that's
good,
the kind
man.
of game I would like to play.
It's really fun, Brad. Honestly, like if you're gonna pick up a game, I recommend to you, Bradley, Super Mario, whatever it's fucking called, Wonder something. My kids have been playing it today, man. Like, I've just went and got my son from uni, and they've been playing it today, and they've been laughing for hours. Like they are actually laughing playing that game. It's so good to hear them having a good time. Crossfire says Distract is effing terrible. Someone said earlier, I won a lot. Said Crossfire was shit on, and it was awesome. This is what
Yeah.
I liked Crossfire.
I still do.
Yeah, it's now got manual
Oh, yeah,
reloading.
it was
They,
great,
they just
man.
had some big update to it too. They added a whole bunch of stuff and
I mean,
It's a
manual
whole bunch of
reloading's
fixes.
in there, but they forgot to. Well, I haven't actually made a video on it, but they forgot to add manual reloading to one of the shotguns because I tested every weapon, just being me, and one of them, yeah, you can't put any shells in it. It's like, but I mean, I haven't even told them about that. I forgot, but I think that like Crossfire, if you took it for what it was, which was almost like Ghost Squad from back in the day, like an arcade shooter, it's actually good fun. But
Yeah, it's a very good arcade shooter. What confused me is people that didn't pay attention to the development cycle and weren't expecting it to be an arcade shooter like they said it was going to be, and then acting all fucking indignant when it comes out and it's not like this realistic military simulation, like, and giving it bad scores for being a different genre than they wanted it to be. That was kind of bullshit, and I agree with the people in the chat. You know,
I agree with the people in the chat a lot of the time.
Mm.
Apart from
there's some
they,
smart people in there.
there are, yeah. They said someone said I make clickbait titles though, or something. What did they say? Who said that? I've lost
Did
them
they
now.
really?
I don't know what they said. Let me check. Someone said it, and then I lost concentration. Everyone, right, bad Robo with the Arnold Schwarzenegger picture. Everyone knows the GT only makes clickbait rants. So yes, I guess he's talking about Ghostbusters. That wasn't a. That was like. My wife actually told me about this today in the car. She went, "You need to control your temper." She went, "Like, you need to stop being a bit hot-headed about this stuff." And I was just like, "But it's genuinely what is happening in my life at the moment. It's how I feel at the moment." And I think, and I don't know why I can't share that.
I think you should, and like I think it's genuine. It's your feeling. Like I could tell that you were upset by it. It's not like this is the first time. Like it wasn't a knee jerk reaction because this is the first company that did it and you got upset about it. This has been happening. Like I don't know how if people know behind the scenes, but this is not the first time that these things are happening. And when they give when people are worried about pre-orders and they don't give access, it doesn't look good. And you know what? It hurts, channels that people rely on. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. I got why you were upset. And you know what? I think it's genuine. And you didn't do it in a mean way. You did it as in like
I
I
didn't think
want to
I
be
did
able
it
to do.
mean. I didn't
No,
think,
I
and
didn't.
I didn't say the game was bad. I didn't tell people not to pre-order the game. It was also like it was a half and half video. It was about Ghostbusters, and then it was about what I worry about the incentive of pre-ordering being the importance over like they're worried about other people reviewing it because of pre-orders, and then going into just being careful about pre-orders. Do you know what I mean? Like especially recently, it's been because I know you said like you guys all say not to do pre-orders, right? And I don't really want to say that because I used to love pre-ordering games. I used to love pre-downloading them and waiting for that timer at midnight to like hit it, and then you can get into that game. Like I love that feeling. But yeah, in VR lately, it's been a bit like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not been fun. It's not been fun.
Well, I'm tired of the developers releasing their games unfinished and broken and unpolished and and saying, okay, we'll have a patch in a week and it's okay, but it's not okay. Like, and those are the things that it's just bothering me. Like
It bothers
but
me.
it's flat games too. So I don't want to say like I'm beating up on VR developers. Flat games are doing it just same as it seems like as soon as we get away from physical copies where they could actually just patch it whenever they want to patch it, they don't give two shits about releasing garbage out with the game launch and then we'll fix it later. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. You know what I mean? And then they expect us to spend 40, 50, 60, 70, $85 on a game that's broken in some way or it's unpolished or unfinished. And they're like, it's okay. We're going to patch it. You guys can live with it. And then we're like, okay, yeah, we'll live with it.
The thing is, like as well, from my wife's point of view, this is now part of our income as a family. Like this is now not just my hobby. Like, yeah, go and do what you want. She's like thinking, well, how many of your friends do your videos? Like, how many of your? That's what she says to me, like today. She was like, how many of your friends just go on camera and just have a rant? Like, does Mike do that? I'm like, well, no, he doesn't do that. But yeah,
don't do that.
good.
I don't do that.
You don't do that, or you do? Yeah, you do. You do it live. But I can see her point. You know, I can see her point. And what I didn't ever want to be was the I don't want to be like an Angry Joe channel where basically suddenly I'm blacklisted, and then because
Brad, you do it with hardware, right?
Yeah, I think I do. I think it's fair to say I do rant videos too.
Good man.
And in fact, I would say most of my videos turn into rant videos by accident.
Yeah,
but that's the problem when you're so passionate about something, you can't help it. Like really, like you start talking about something and you're like, I really hate this. I can't believe this is a thing that I have to deal with like all the time. So like, and I I'm not the best example because I am kind of blacklisted from a lot of people. So, so it kind of gives me that that freedom to want to, be like, this is how I see it.
But don't you feel good about
frustrating.
yourself when you tell it the way it is? Like, I mean, I know there's repercussions to everything we say, but
this is an interesting thing. I want to hear if he feels good about himself for doing it.
Yeah, I really do actually. Like I always feel okay, so there's sacrifices too, because when you are very strong in your passions, it makes you not want to go onto certain websites ever again, because you might see your name pop up there. And like for example, I used to go on Reddit all the time, like all the time. But then I started getting very opinionated, on my channel and started getting an audience, and now I won't go on Reddit at all, just in case I might see my name pop up there, and like I feel good. I feel good doing these videos. I feel good kind of being disconnected from the blacklist thing. It kind of feels nice to be untouchable in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously, it does kind of paint targets on your back too at the same time, and you have to like kind of deal with that side of it as
See,
well.
I also feel that I'm damaging VR. I feel like I'm doing two bad things, like or a bad. I feel like I'm doing the right. I feel like I'm always battling myself because it's almost like, and I know people will probably think this is bullshit because I'm a fucking YouTuber, but I have to tell the truth. So I go through with the truth, and then, people don't always know this, but I do get developers talk to me afterwards, or they want to talk about the situation and what's been said, and it's horrible because you got to remember, those people who play the games, they've got families, they've got incomes, they've got jobs. There's so much involved,
And some of them are in complete denial too.
Mhm.
Like they just can't. You can give them legitimate criticism with, you could lay out examples of what you're saying with video evidence, and it for some of these people, not all of them, but for some of them, it just doesn't land. They're incapable of seeing it. They're in such complete denial about what their game is and what it does. Others are very receptive, on the other side of the coin. There are others that that really, they look for this feedback and they integrate it immediately as soon as anyone gives them feedback.
Yeah. So maybe I know I'm doing the right thing. Don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm doing the right thing for the people who do follow me, but at the same time, there is a price to pay for myself. That's all. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Me and you have talked about this before because it's something that I do on my channel, and mine a lot of times is emotion. It's live, so it's emotion. It's off the cuff. It's feeling. And I talked to my wife early on when I did my first ever what I would consider a rant, and I'm like, I don't know if I should ever do that again. And she's like, she's like, if you feel you need to do it, but be honest with it. Don't ever do one that's set up, or don't do it if you don't think, what I mean? So she's like, if you have to fake it, you can't do it. And I never do. Like when I do them, I feel emotional about them when I do them.
Yeah.
And I think if I, and because people ask me all the time, are we going to have a rant tonight? Are we going to do this? And I cannot plan them. I just can't, because if I do, then it's disingenuous and it doesn't, and it doesn't have the same effect. And, I'm passionate about virtual reality in my exuberance for it, and in my criticism for it, because I want the best for it. And I feel that if I don't point out the problems, that we will continue to have the problems. So if I try and cover them up and throw a blanket over them, then I don't think anything gets fixed. And and I know I don't know. I'm not going to ever apologize for my passion about what I do, whether it's a good passion or a bad passion. I have to be me. And but I want to. But I can tell you this: there is a price to pay, and I've gone back a couple of times, and maybe maybe I was too hard, or maybe I was wrong, and I've had to apologize a couple of times because maybe I reacted in the wrong way. Or I've been to conferences. I went to Gamescom, and I went and spoke to Joyway after I had absolutely killed them. And I had to sit there at a table and have a beer with them. And they're like, yeah, we saw your rants. Yeah. And you're talking to them. You're like, sorry. But you know what? They appreciated my honesty and they wanted to fix their things. And, I don't know. It can be difficult, but I get what Brad and you were saying, that you have to, there can be consequences to everything you do. And
I had a friend since we got to Meta Connect. He was like, how do you feel all these developers around you? I was like, I feel fine, man. I'm not worried. I'm bigger than most of them, so it'd be all right. Yeah. And they got pretty good security, so there was no weapons. But yeah. Crazy stuff. Sorry about that. Went off on a right tangent there.
We went off ranting about ranting.
Ranting about ranting.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I might rename the video the stream. Ranting about ranting. But Wes, what are you playing at the moment? What's your game at the moment? What's your go-to thing?
I wish I had one game that I could just stick to for the moment. I mean, other than the stuff that I covered on yesterday's show, which was Seventh Guest, Propagation, and
that was an interesting conversation about propagation between you and Mash. But yeah, go on.
I like
And,
that we don't always agree though.
Yeah, Switchback was the other one. Other than those, Genotype is really the one that's grabbed me over the last few weeks.
Oh.
That's the one that
Mm.
that I've gone back to after covering it and continue to play. Really enjoying Genotype.
Why do you like it?
It's just very well done. It's my type of game. It's that single player narrative driven action adventure game, science fiction.
I liked
Looks
the animal selection thing what you used.
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
very
cool.
it's very unique. I like the progression. You know, you can upgrade everything, and there's multiple layers of upgrading everything. I just think it's unique, and it's a familiar. It's unique to VR, I would say. Like there's lots of these type of games in traditional catalog, but there's not a lot of these type of games in VR that are this on this quality level. And I just think it's good, man. I think it's a really good game. And then when you consider that it's standalone, that makes it all the more impressive, right? Because it's not even been upgraded for Quest 3 yet, and it's a very good looking game as it is.
Yeah, I did an early hands on with it basically for some feedback for them, and yeah, I was actually quite impressed with it. And he has asked me to cover it, but literally like I've got 2 days, maybe an extra 2 hours as well if my wife lets me. 2 days and 2 hours to do a preview and finish one review and do another review. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get that done. Like, I just don't know how it's going to happen, and it probably won't happen, but I'll still try my best to do what I can. But yeah, like Seventh Guest, is that not a type of game that would like bring you in, Brad? Like a puzzle game, a VR puzzle game? I guess it's not really an escape room game. I don't know. Maybe it could be considered an escape room game. But would you not play a game like that?
I haven't really seen much about it, so I'd have to look at it and maybe. Like I'm not against puzzle games. But yeah, I don't know. It just takes it really does take a lot for me to want to do games in general. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird feeling.
You're a social person, and you're a VR social, aren't you?
Yeah, like that's kind of thing is I actually feel for most VR games, I don't like that are single player. I usually feel quite lonely because of how much time I spent in social VR doing a lot of like there's a lot of puzzle worlds, for example, in VR chat that it's really fun to do with people and like work together to figure out puzzles. So like if I head into a puzzle game in single player, it always feels a bit lonely
Yeah.
for me. So
I get that, man. I think VR Chat's got some fantastic experiences. I did, what have I done in there? Jet Set Radio. That was amazing. There's Ridge Racer VR in there. I think they've taken it away now, but there was the Great Plateau from Breath of the Wild. Even though it's not a game as such, it was a fucking amazing, mind-blowing thing to experience, to go from that Switch screen or your TV screen into that world. Fucking, oh, dude, that was insane. Silent Hill 2's in there as well.
there was during April Fool's Day of this year, someone uploaded a like fully recreated Mario Kart in VR chat, and it was incredible. Like,
What do you mean? Is it gone now?
it was only available for the April Fool's Day. They're gonna bring it back, but it was a little teaser demo that came out that day, and I think I did a Twitter video for it, but it was incredible. Like it was basically taking what was the newest Mario Kart, 7 or 8? Mario Kart
I think.
8, yeah.
Yeah, it was basically a port of that for like one
What?
racetrack. Like you literally could use your gliders to go through the air. You had all the shells that you can throw at people. It was insane. It really was impressive.
Fucking hell, man. That sounds so good. The last time I played Mario Kart, I did, is it Double Dash? No, not Double Dash. What one did I do before that? It was Mario Kart Wii. So I used Dolphin Emulator in VR, in first person, and I mapped my Logitech G29 to it as well. And
Nice.
it was fucking crazy, mate. It was crazy. Like, it's weird when you make these videos and you think how excited you are. These are the worst videos you can make, actually. Whenever you're really passionate and excited about a video, they're the ones that tend not to do that well for some reason. Even today's video, like I did Half-Life 2, that Unleashed mod. That's fucking insane, mate. Like, I love that game so much. And to be able to like dual wield everything like dual wielding the bloody fucking teleport gun things, whatever they're called, the gravity guns.
Gravity gun, yeah.
Oh my god. I was like, this is crazy. Do you know what I mean? I banged 2 barrels together by accident and blew myself up. That was funny. But and the fact you can melee people, smack them in the head with a gun. It's just, I don't know. It's so good. Like, it's so good. But Mario Kart was amazing. And that was really, really cool. And yeah, that as most of my stuff didn't do that well. But in my in my world, it'd get 1 million views. I'd be like, yeah.
Should be. I would do. Did we call it the super chat? I don't know if we did.
No, I do apologize. VR Central, how you doing, man? Good to see you. He put title VR Poindexter's rant about ranting. Yes. Yes. Poindexter. I haven't. That must be a very American phrase.
Like
Poindexter. Nerd. Yeah, I know what it is. I've just never heard anyone British say Poindexter. I seem to remember it from some cartoons that might have been American. What did you guys think of the new Teenage Mutant Hero Turtle film? Ninja Turtles film. Did you see it?
Are you a ninja hero? Is that what you said?
No. So in the UK, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles weren't allowed to be called Ninja Turtles.
Really?
Back in the 80s, yeah, they had to be called heroes.
They weren't. They were turtles, but they couldn't call them turtles.
No, they weren't allowed to say the word ninja.
Oh, okay.
So Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles was what they were
Hero
called.
Turtles. I got you.
Why? I don't know. I don't understand.
Ninja's a bit like a bad word, and
We haven't got any. I don't know whether they don't. I don't know whether they. I don't know what happened. Maybe that's why. Maybe we had to get rid of them. You know, I don't know.
So like all the old arcade cabs and everything were all Hero Turtles.
Probably didn't go that far, but the cartoon had to be. The films were ninja as well, but the cartoon specifically had to be heroes.
Nice.
That's weird, man.
It fucking is weird, isn't it?
I have not seen the new movie.
I really loved the old, like, sorry, this is another random fucking conversation. I loved the original films, like the ones where they had the real suits and stuff when I was younger. I loved those films, and I tried watching this new one, and I really loved the Spider-Man movies as well. I love the art style, but yeah, for some reason he didn't grip me. I didn't get it. I was really annoyed. I didn't know whether I was on my own. Journey to Foundation, though, is a game I'm excited to jump into because I really liked Foundation, the TV series on Apple. Did you guys watch the TV series on Apple?
No, it was good though. A lot of people say it was good.
But I'm a fan of Archaeact as a studio. You could see them kind of taking this turn toward narrative-driven experiences when they did Freediver, which was very heavily narrative-driven, and now they've kind of expanded everything that they've taken from their earlier catalog, and they're kind of making one title now that uses all of it. So you're gonna get kind of the action / science fiction adventure stuff from a game like Evasion, and then mix in the kind of narrative driven stuff from Freediver. And again, you know, there's potential here for them to miss and it fall flat, but there's also potential for it to hit and be a unique title that turns out to be one of the best of the year. So yeah. I'm very excited to see how it's going to be.
Yeah, I was on the phone to my dad today when I was driving down to pick up my son, and I said to him, "Oh, I've got this game, Journey Foundation, going to be checking it out, blah blah blah." And I said to him, like, "Do you know?" Because he used to have lots of science fiction books, and I remember them as a kid. They used to have really cool art, and it was Isaac Asimov, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Foundation," and he literally reeled off the whole fucking story about. And I kind of thought to myself, how is this game gonna push that story on someone for them to care enough about the entire narrative anyway? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's got so much of its own history in the game. Like,
so the way that they're handling it is they're making their narrative very character driven. So you're really going to kind of flesh out and learn the motivations behind each character, and then you get to choose who you align with. So like there are different factions in the game, and you can be neutral or you can work for one side or work for other, and it's through those character interactions and those choices that they're expecting people to kind of become attached to the story.
Well, there you go. That was expertly described Wes.
Yeah.
It was like Archaeact quickly jumped in and decided, Wes, can you just say?
He's got an earpiece in.
That was awesome. I was like, he's got this. He's absolutely got this. GT, did you play Shredder's Revenge? Hell yeah. Of course I did. It was who the hell made that game? They also made Streets of Rage 4, or they published it. Either way, side scrollers, man. Grew up on side scrollers. Like all the games. I'm actually before VR came along, I was all about Street Fighter and 2D and flat games, you know, like side scrollers. Final Fight. God, there's so many. Final Fight. Then you got Fatal Fury. I can't even think of how many there are. There's loads. I've got them all emulated now, and yeah, that was my thing. And I used to like do lots of art as well with Street Fighter. I was obsessed with Street Fighter, absolutely obsessed, and I love it. So, yeah, thank you all for joining us today. And yes, that whoever's asking about the TV series, Foundation is on Apple TV. Now, funny enough, if you're like me and you've got an Apple device, you might not even know it. When you bought that phone, you've probably got 3 months free Apple TV, and you haven't claimed it like I did. .mu, thank you, Funky Sloth. Thank you very much. Yeah, Streets of Rage 4 is a fantastic game. I think I've completed that about 15 times.
Wow.
The soundtrack is incredible. I love the soundtrack. If I ever make a game, I've already got the artist's soundtrack on my Spotify to go, hey, I need you to make some music for my game. Brad, talking about games, if you could make a game, right? If you could make a game, what would you do? What would you do? What was the type? What do you think the VR's maybe missing that you maybe avoid that you could add to? I don't know. Or a remake. You could do a remake if you want. A lot of people love a remake. Give him time. He's not going to happen probably, so don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, no. Ironically, I think I'd be more interested in making. Yeah, it's really weird because I'm not sure if I would make a VR game, honestly. I would want to make like a
That's my thumbnail. Brad said he doesn't want to make a VR game.
No, I'm very like fascinated right now by like seeing what people are doing with like I saw this one demo on Twitter where someone had a Nintendo DS and they were able to project 2D screen and like all the 3D elements in this 2D game into like a full 3D volumetric like game that you played in your VR or AR space. I'm kind of like fascinated with like the idea to be able to play like these more simpler or like these 2D games in like a VR space than I am about making a full like fledged VR game.
So you saw my NES video. I saw you comment on the NES video that I did.
Yeah, I love that. I freaking love stuff like that.
That was so cool. He also told me afterwards, he said there's like a tool you can add to Steam where I could actually pin those games. So I could have put Zelda flat on my desk and pinned it and then done it in MR. Fucking hell.
I think more stuff like that is I think stuff like that is going to be way more way more adopted by people than people think right now in the VR space. I think people are gonna love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean I made that video on YouTube. It's all right. I don't know how many views it's got, maybe 10,000 or something. Did a little clip of it, but I put it on TikTok and let me see. There's actually more retro gamers than I realized on TikTok. I had no idea, and I've kind of got a bit of a following on there for it at the moment. So that same clip that I did, that's got 182,000 views.
Wow.
And then I did MUVR. That's got 257. And then I did MUVR again, like another one where I had all the screens on, and that's nearly got 500,000. Like just retro stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just VR retro stuff. And I think when people, what's the other one? There's Arcade Neon as well, where you can put in the old arcades. Literally, I've got that as well. Like I love that stuff. I love VR bringing that stuff back in a way that it's very expensive. Retro gaming and collecting.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to do that stuff.
I really want more of those kind of like I really want more of these things like I like to call them overlays. Like for example, SteamVR overlays has there's a lot of potential of not just creating full immersive app that you have to launch into and like you're stuck in there. I'm more interested in stuff that you can run on top of other apps, because like if you
Right.
could literally pop in an arcade machine while you're playing any other VR, or you're just in your pass-through experience, like that's really useful. And like, you know, it's just
It'd be so
it's not
cool
really
to
been done.
anchor, like with the anchor perspective. If you could anchor an arcade machine permanently, saying that side of the room or here, for example, just for example, and every time I put the headset on, that arcade
Yeah.
machine was there ready. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to switch into a VR experience, you can just keep that there too, in case you just want, like, if you're in a social VR experience already, you can just while you're waiting for a friend to go to the bathroom, you just walk up to your virtual arcade cabinet and just play it. You know, like it's very untapped. No one's doing this overlay stuff. It drives me nuts. So
We'll
yeah.
get there, man. You're just ahead of the curve. That's what I reckon it is. Like you sit there and you go, "This is good," but is it? I mean, is it? As we talked to you, Mickey Bear coming in with the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Steam key. What the? He's giving away some of the best games ever made. What the hell's going on? Thank you ever so much. I hope whoever picks that key up says thank you. That's
There's
crazy.
another thing you're talking about, the Apple shows. Like, I'm scared to watch any, because like I keep hearing that like they keep recording the shows in like volumetric format too, for when their headset comes out, that you can watch them in like a special VR AR version. So I'm like, I don't want to watch anything until that headset comes out.
Foundation would be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Wow. That's excited me, Brad. I did not know that.
Yeah, like they keep leaking like set footage of like all the special cameras they're using for like 3D and volumetric. Yeah, it's
Shredder's Revenge. Did I get the wrong game? Sorry about that. Man, Bear, Pig, Game Cat. What did I tell you earlier about the Game Cat names, man? He is Man, Bear, Pig, Game Cat. With a $2 donation, thank you ever so much. He said, "Hope you guys never change. Honest reviews kick ass." Yes, they do. Thank you ever so much. They are the way forward. They are the power. But yeah, I think we're going to call it quits there. I know it's been a short show, but poor Wes joined us, and I am very tired. As I said, I've got so much going on at the moment. There won't be a show next week because I am away. That's why I was hoping everyone would be here for this show, but I think what happened, Skeever had to drive from somewhere. Alex had a meeting. So yeah, these things happen, and Roots couldn't make it because he was at work. But thank you ever so much. After that week, next week, we'll be back hopefully every Monday till Christmas. There's nothing else on my calendar, so they will be solid shows. And dude, I can't wait for an actual Christmas special with you guys. That'll be
cool.
So we're gonna figure out how we're going to do that, because obviously we have 2023 show coming up.
And that goes on for 48 hours, doesn't it?
Yeah, we typically have you on for a segment on that. Although you did stand us up last year at the last minute.
Why did I stand you up though? There was probably a reason.
I'm sure there was.
You didn't like us or something.
No.
No.
But I mean, now that we're doing a show together, maybe we can just kind of integrate it somehow, and maybe do. I don't know. There's possibilities here for us to kind of work it all in together if we so feel the urge.
I would like to celebrate Christmas with Brad this year as well.
Yeah. We should all wear Christmas hats for the episode.
He's not anti-Christmas.
Did we do that last?
He's not
Did we do that last year?
No, you all wanted to do fucking pajamas or some dumb shit, but I ain't doing that.
I don't even own pajamas. Can you have pajamas as an adult?
Apparently,
apparently, you can. Of course you can.
Apparently, if you're Eric, you can.
You can. Eric, everybody should have pajamas.
I am birthday suit.
Really? You're just walking around your house naked?
No. I just go to sleep naked. I don't walk around my house naked. I'm just saying, like, when I go to bed, pajamas are for bedtime. I linked it. Is that not the right link? Pajamas are for bedtime.
Yeah, that's right.
No, yeah. I mean, anytime you're. I mean, pajamas. I mean, sweats.
Have you got pajamas, Mash?
Like Christmas pajamas. Yes, my wife gets our family Christmas pajamas every year.
Fair enough.
But that's it. But I mean, like if I'm at night and I'm like, I want to put on a pair of sweats or something like that. I mean, that's like pajamas, right? Wear sweats or
Well, that's fine. That's not pajamas.
Yeah, if you
Well,
want
I
to
mean, basically
rename
that's
stuff, if
pajamas.
you want to just rename stuff randomly, mate, that's
What about
you
like
just did.
pajama pants? What about like just pajama pants?
Right? Can you just fucking
Brad, you
what?
got pajama pants. Come on, I know you do.
Too hot. No.
That's true. It's Florida.
Are you
That's true.
birthday suit, Brad?
Wait, what?
Are you birthday suit for the bedtime?
Partial. Yeah.
Partial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad wears a shirt and no pants.
He just wears his,
partial means he just wears his big screen beyond and nothing else.
I reckon he goes to bed and he puts his hair on something like, hey.
Gonna make me blush. I'll stop it.
Oh, man.
What about you, Wes? How do you go to bed, mate?
Just typically just pass out somewhere, whatever I'm wearing.
Mate, you honestly look like you're going to pass out most of the time. I remember seeing a photo. My dad's got that problem. There was a photo of him when he was younger, and he was asleep on a pile of bricks. It looked so fucking uncomfortable, like a rubble like that of bricks, and he was asleep. And I thought, how the hell? He's got a bad back now. Maybe that's why. Laszlo, $2 donation. Thank you ever so much. I think he wants a 72-hour show. Wes, can you do 72 hours?
Well, I mean, we're on our way, right? Like we did 14 hours 2 years ago.
I was part of that one. I remember being part of that one.
Yeah. And this last year we were able to keep it under 12, thankfully. But
what are you doing? What are you doing for that amount of time? So you must literally go through every single fucking VR game released.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of we talk about all the good ones. We do awards. I think the first couple of years we did like 45 or 50 different award categories, and last year we scaled it back to like, I don't know, 30-ish, something like that. But besides the awards, we do a fuck ton of giveaways. Like we're not a channel that does a giveaway every week on our channel. What we do is at the end of the year, we celebrate and we give away all the fucking games at the end of the year. So not only do we do like 30 or 40 different award categories, but we're giving away 100 to 120 game keys during the episode. And then we kick it all off with a nice little kind of year in review segment where we talk about where we were at the start of the year and what had happened, throughout the year for VR and where we are and where we're going. So it's a really big kind of retrospective episode that's all encompassing. So we're not just fucking off for 10 hours, there's a lot going on.
It's a busy show. 2 years ago, not this past year, but the year before, we did 14 hours. And at one point we had little breaks in between where we had pre-recorded segments, like one with you, GT, and Wes actually was up so long preparing for the show. He had basically not slept. And in the middle of it, he forgot to come back. He fell asleep during the break and didn't come back live. It was just me and Roots, and we were like, where the hell's Wes?
Yeah, I was like 10 minutes late coming out of the last break.
That is fucking amazing.
I fell asleep right here in the chair just waiting.
I think the worst thing, not the worst thing, one of the nicest things I guess I did, it was I did a 24-hour charity stream, raised over £1,000 for cancer research. And at one point, I remember being in what was Oculus Home, and I was sitting there eating my sandwiches and whatever it was, and I had like 50 odd people just sitting there, like watching me eat this sandwich in this cyberspace thing, and the chat was there, and we were just talking about like, depression, mental health, like all these different things, and people were telling me their stories about, their experiences with cancer, their families, and it was like, it was so amazing. But I remember in the 24 hours, one, you have to, if you go over 12, the video's gone. I think like something happens in YouTube if you go longer than something happens. Yeah, is that what it is? I can't remember. Something happened.
You can only stream 12 hours straight, and then it stops.
Yeah, so that's what happened. I went over that, and I remember thinking I'll come back in VR, and I was like, I can't do it. And my wife had to go out and get me some eye spray because my eyes were just like. And also I made a mistake. I'd gone out for my dad's birthday the night before, so I was thinking I'll have a sleep. That didn't happen because I was busy. Then I went out to his birthday, and then I did the 24-hour stream, and I was just like, yeah, this is a terrible idea. But yeah, got through it, and I swore I'd never do it again. I do 12, but 24 is just like that. That was a crazy move, dude. That was
Yeah.
a crazy move. But yeah. Anyway, I've done that thing again. What I said I wouldn't do from about 6 episodes ago, where I'd say goodbye to everyone and then carry on talking, and that has happened again. That's
It's kind of
happened
our
again.
thing now, right? It's what we do.
I guess
Yeah.
it is. Does it happen anywhere else? Is it
Oh,
just me fucking up? It must just be my thing. We're like, right, we'll see you all later, guys, and then take it away, everyone. That's how we start
All
the
right.
show.
We really do got to go because I want to go play with these. Let's see. I want to check them out.
Yeah.
I want to check these out. See what they look like.
What's it? Just quickly, sorry. The AI part of those.
Mm-hmm.
Have you explored it? Is it even live yet? I don't know much about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can. I mean, I did it at MetaConnect, and I did. You can do stuff. The one where it actually will view what you're looking at and give you AI descriptive, answers of what you're looking at. That's not ready yet. That's going to be in a software update sometime early next year. But
Yeah.
the text one is available now.
That's really cool, man. I love those glasses. The footage quality and the recording quality is fantastic, and listening to music is fantastic. Love it.
The audio is amazing. It's like I said, I didn't like the first Ray-Bans. Wasn't interested in them in any way whatsoever. And then I heard the audio in this one at MetaConnect, and I'm like, and then when they talked about the AI, and then I saw the video and how good, the live streaming and how good the videos look.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm on board with these now.
Yeah, but they
in.
look and feel like sunglasses as well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And last time they felt like a bit of heavy glasses tech in a way, in comparison anyway.
Yeah, I mean, these things they're tiny. They're small.
Yeah.
How thin they are. I mean,
I love
they're
it.
small.
See-through on a minute. You can see the speakers. and
Yeah,
everything.
they're see-through.
can you wear them in your Quest 3?
Probably. I'm gonna try it.
Take some through the lens
Oh,
photos.
that's a good idea.
Oh,
Oh, I probably
Wes.
could do that.
Such
That's
a
a great idea, Wes.
YouTuber. He's such a YouTuber. We're always thinking of the views, man. Right. Let's now wave goodbye. Let's say goodbye, everyone. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you for all the donations, and thank you for being here as always. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.